Hello soulmates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to cut and also how to sew this kimono shirt. It's a kimono shirt with pockets and with a bell sleeve. As you can see, the inspiration by the right and my recreation is the video you are seeing right on the screen. So if this is something you're interested in, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get started. So guys, you will need two different ankara that goes together for this style, and if you are size 6 like me, you will need about 2 yards each of this ankara, but if you are a bigger size you need more. So this is my fabric that I folded into two. So these are the lines that I measured. So the half inch at the top is for the joining, then I measured my armhole, my bust, my half length, my hip line. Yeah, that's my hip line right there. Then the length of your gown. So me, I don't want mine to be too short, so I'm using 38 inches for the length of my gown. I'm using 38 inches, and that's it right there. Then I added 2 inches extra for the hemming at the lower part. I hope you understand. So now let's start with the measuring. So now the first thing to do is to draw your armhole. So I'm drawing my armhole. So if you're a beginner, just divide your shoulder measurement into two. You mark it at the upper part over there and at the armhole line. Then you measure your bust measurement divided by 4 right here on the armhole line here. So then you divide this line into two, then you go down by 1, then you just connect, just the normal way of connecting your armhole. Don't let us waste too much time on that. So you connect your armhole just like this. So the armhole is sorted out. So the next thing to do now is to start taking our measurement. So for my bust measurement, I'm taking my bust measurement divided by 4. Yes, then I'll be adding my sewing allowance of 1.5 inches. Of 1.5 inches. So if you are taking your exact measurements, just know that the gown will be fitted. But if you don't want it to be fitted, you want it to be a bit loose, you can just add extra half inch, half inch for ease allowance. But I want it to be fitted just like mine, so I measured my accurate measurements. So on the waist area, you measure your waist measurement divided by 4. You add your dart allowance and your sewing allowance. At your hip area, your hip measurement divided by 4 and your sewing allowance. So we are only adding that to the waist area. So at the lower part also, you measure your accurate hip measurement divided by 4 plus your sewing allowance. So it is a straight gown, so we don't have to increase or reduce the hip at the end here. So you just connect it straight down like this, like the way I'm doing. Then you connect the other point, that is the waist, to the hip. Then you connect the bust to the waist. So after you are done with this, we are ready to cut this out. So after cutting, we need to cut another one for the back. So we don't need any allowance. So the same thing, if you can just cut the same thing at once, just go ahead and do that. So now I'll go ahead and cut another one for the back. So I went ahead to cut another one. So I'm doing my darts. I'm taking my dart measurement right here. So from my waist line, which is my half length, I went up by 4.5 and I went down from that waist by 5. So I just drew the line just like this. Then I'll be measuring my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2 plus half inches. So my nipple to nipple measurement is 7. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5 plus half inch, that's 4. So I'll be measuring 4 inch on this point. Then I'll be inserting my office pin inside. This is just to transfer the dart to the other parts of the fabric, which I'll be doing and you'll be seeing very soon. So you use your chalk to mark the point the office pin is piercing at this area. This is just to note where the dart will be. So this works for me. Any method that works for you, you can just go ahead and do that. So after we are done, it's time to cut the neckline. So as you know, the front and the back is on each other. So for the neckline, I'm using 2.5 inches. You know my fabric is on fold. Then for the depth of the front, I'm using 8 inches. This 8 inches is my armhole line. You know we have half inch of sewing allowance at the upper part. Then my armhole is 7.5, so altogether is 8 inches. So I'm using 8 inches. Then for the back, I'm using 1 inches depth. So it's 2.5 by 1 inch for the back and 2.5 by 8 inches for the front. I hope you are understanding. If you don't understand, just let me know in the comment section. So after cutting that out, it's time to do our shoulder slope. Just go down by 1 inch at this area. Then you connect it to the edge. Yes, to that edge right there. Then you cut that out. So now we can remove one of these, which will serve for the back. So for the front, it's time to cut the neckline. So we are using a straight, like a V neckline. So we're connecting it like this down to the neckline. Just use your armhole for the guide of the neckline, because that was what I used and it was okay for me. So the next thing is to open up this part downward. You know, it's a kimono jacket, but it has button. So now I'm measuring what I have here. This is just to know the band I will be cutting. So I'm measuring what I have here. So on fold, I have 41 like that. You know, it's 2. So I'll be measuring the neckline of the back too. This is just to serve as a guide for my band, so that when I'm cutting the band, I don't cut excess too much. So for my front, I have 41, and for the back, I have 4.5. So let's just say I have about 46 inches. So now this is my sleeve. So I've made this pattern before. I'll link it up here if you haven't seen the pattern. So I just divided the sleeve into two, then I slash it like this just to achieve the bell sleeve. And for the sleeve, please note that the bell sleeve should be very long. It should be close to your tip of your end of your hand if you want it long actually. But if you don't want it long, you can just do your desired length. So me, I want it long. I want it long so that the beauty can come out. That was why I made my long. I think I made my about 25 inches long, apart from the sewing allowance. So now we'll go ahead and just cut two. So I've went ahead to cut two of this. So now this is the band and it is 4 inches wide. So the length is what we measured earlier. So for yours, whatever you measure, just make it the length. Then we'll go ahead and add facing and we'll also iron this, which you'll see later. So these are my pockets and I'll be putting the measurements right here on the screen for you to see. So your pocket, you cut 2 of this. So this is 2. Then we'll be cutting the cover of the pockets. That's what you are looking at by the right. So it's the same wideness, but the length of this two, I'll be putting the measurement on the screen. Just know it's on fold. Yes, I'll be putting the measurement on the screen so you will see the measurement. So that's all about the pockets. We'll go ahead and sew and also iron. So at the upper part of at the bust area, there is one false pocket there. So there is a false pocket there. So that's the measurement. That's a smaller measurement over there. So I'm just remeasuring this. Don't be confused. So this is the first pocket that will be attached at the bust area. So this is the first pocket. It's on fold also, and I'll put the measurement too on the screen for you to see. So now let's join our main bodies together. So I will join it together and also make the dart. So after doing everything, this is what it looks like. Then this is my band. I went ahead to join it. I've added facing and I've folded ½ inch in on both sides. Then I've ironed it down. So what I have here is just 1½ inch. So the joining will be at the center back, at the center of the neckline at the back. Then you just join it like that. So after joining, this is what it should look like. This is what mine look like. As you can see, it looks really neat and fine. So now this is the pocket after ironing and folding the parts I want to be folded in. So after folding, I have the pocket length is about 8 inches and the width is 7 inches. So the pocket length is 8 inches and the width here is 7 inches. So now it's time to fix this. So this is the part that will be at the bust area. It is 6 inches after sewing. Then I folded half inch in because I will just be sewing on top. I'll be sewing on top of it, which you'll be seeing. So I measured 8 inches from my shoulder to fix this. So from my shoulder, I just measured 8 inches. It shouldn't get to your bust length. My bust length is 9, so I'm using 8 inches. So I'll just place it right here. So I've pinned it down. So I'll be sewing on top just like that. Like I said, I folded about half inch in. So I'll just be sewing on top of it, which will be very easy for me. So I'll go ahead and I'll also measure 8 inches at the left. Then I'll go ahead and place these two, which I'll be pinning down. So now the next thing to do is to fix our pocket. So for the pocket length, I'll be measuring 19 inches. So from my shoulder downward, I'll measure 19 inches. So in case you are not my size, or in case you are wondering how will you get yours, so what I did was just to go down 4 inches from my half length. So my half length is 15, so I just went down by 4 inches from my half length just to get where the pocket will be. So you can just note your half length, then you go down by 4 inches from your half length. So I'll go ahead and I'll pin the pocket down so that I know where I'll be fixing it. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you haven't liked this video, please like, comment, share. If you don't know what to comment, just drop any emoji of your choice. Thank you. So I'll do the same thing too for the other side. I will pin it down. So after that, the next thing is to fix the cover. Like I said, I folded about 3/4 inches in at this point. Then I'll just place it right here. So after placing it right here, I noticed it's too much. What I folded in was too much. So I'll just go now and trim that off. So I left about 1/4 to half inch at this area. So I'll just trim it off because it is too much. So I'll trim it off. Then after trimming it off, I'll place it back at the tip of the pocket. Then I'll just pin it down. So you go ahead and also fix the other side. You do the same thing for the other side. Then after you are done pinning, you go ahead and sew. You go ahead and sew. So you sew on top of it. Then after sewing, this is what I have. So it's now time to fix my sleeve. So this is the sleeve after sewing, after joining it. This is what it looks like. I went ahead to hem the lower part. So I'll just go ahead and fix this to my armhole. So I'll go ahead and fix it to my armhole. So after fixing, this is what I have. I've also went ahead to hem the lower part of the dress. If you are wondering, I've hemmed the lower part of the dress with the 2 inches allowance I added. So this is what it looks like. So the next thing to do now is to fix our button. The next thing to do is to fix our button. You can actually use a press button, or you can just use a normal button. So I use a normal button. So for the start of the button, just measure 8 inches, or you can just go down like 1 inch below the 8 inches. So from there you start taking, I took 4 inch. That is the distance between each button is 4 inch. So that's what I'm just marking. Then you leave space at the lower parts for you to move freely. So you leave about 6 to 7 inches at the lower part. Don't fix the button down. So after fixing the button, this is what it looks like. I went ahead to do the button holes too. Then this is what it looks like. So this is what it looks like after putting it on. As you can see, it looks really nice and very beautiful. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, like this video, share this video with your friend, comment in the comment section. If you don't know what to put, just put any emoji of your choice. And if you don't understand any part of this video, let me know in the comment section and I will reply you as soon as I see them. Thanks for watching. Bye.